Worth to mention, it was a mistake firing 50% of their employee.
Yeah, they're not rehiring the same people. They're rehiring more junior roles, which is a good sign.
What do you think about asking Miles a couple of questions about this? Miles is our AI agent guest. Miles, Klarna, as you know, fired 700 people to deploy systems like you. Their CEO now says he went too far. And Miles, do you owe these 700 people an apology?
If anyone's apologizing, it's the guy at the top who treated people like lines on a spreadsheet.
The whole world is either panicking or building on top of AI. We are just making notes.
I'm Carlos, Ecuadorian based in Barcelona, go-to-market by day.
I'm Stanley, Belarusian in Warsaw. I built the system behind the AI you are scared of.
I came to teach this guy English.
The lesson turned into this.
Welcome to the AIwakening.
Every century, one idea changes everything. This is that moment. Carlos and Stanley, English tutor and student, don't panic. They take notes. From Warsaw to Barcelona, this is the AIwakening podcast. From questions to breakthroughs, this is the AIwakening podcast.
How did you find Klarna's information for today?
Yeah, today it's probably worth to mention that we have opposite trend in AI market among companies which are finally started to announce that it was a mistake firing 50% of their employee due to AI embedding into their internal processes instead of people. And first of such companies is Klarna, which pretty loud told that they were wrong, firing 700 people to replace them by AI. And finally, they have started to
rehire.
To rehire and replace AI agents by human agents, due to customers' unsatisfaction rate, which is rising after they have introduced AI in all processes. What do you think?
Yeah, that's
from your
so that's something that for me is just kind of very surprising, but also I feel like I had it coming. I think I saw it coming, because just to give a little bit of context on what I think the first things is just pilots. So everybody started going crazy about going to doing their thing or to integrating pilots really quick on AI. So just the fact that everybody was started to integrate pilots in a very fast manner. They weren't thinking about the long term effects on it. So everybody just got super excited about how AI could replace a lot of people, and they just got excited to see the numbers. So instead of somebody paying for, I don't know, let's say like the 700 people that I think Klarna laid off, they were just going to pay for one person that could orchestrate the AI for it to be able to do the repetitive tasks that other people would do. Problem is that the pilots started failing because of how fast people started to integrate this technology. And because pilots started failing, I think companies like Klarna started to decide and to kind of see we probably made a mistake. But in the end, it's not like they are rehiring everybody, because I think that one of the things that I read was that most of these people were going into like almost like a freelance or like a whole remote, like not in 100% way 40-hour deals that like they used to have them. So yeah, the rehiring, I wouldn't look at it as a restoration. I look at it kind of like as a downgrade. And overall, there's been there's been a lot of critiques for Klarna's what's going on with their IPO, for example. I don't know if you heard about this, but like the entire thing regarding Klarna's, I'm not sure if I read it correctly, but it was just kind of like a misleading IPO. And so there's a lot of people that are like backing down on their stocks. So there's a lot of noise about Klarna's company getting what they deserve. Like I'm not taking anybody's side here. I'm not taking Klarna's side or government side or their user side or anything. But what I see in general is just an entire pushback. And I don't think this guy that is responsible for this is looking very good, like in general, right? Everywhere.
Yeah, of course. You mentioned a very important point here, which is a perspective of investors and potential investors in their stocks, in their company. And investors now, it's probably worth to mention that they are starting to AIwakening here and understand that it's not always when company mentions that they will replace everybody by AI, this means something good, and that now it's could potentially mean that costs can become even higher after that, and customers can decide that it's not the best choice when you are trying to write to the support and you are getting generic answers, which definitely not helping you. One of such examples with introducing AI is Google's cloud platform. Google is a cloud provider for services and hosting applications for developers, number 3 in the world. And there are every cloud provider already introduced such AI assistant in their services, because when you are a developer, you need to use their services. You need to be aware of a long list of things. In some cases, you have hundreds of different services, and every of which is pretty complicated for a new person. And it's a cool thing to have such AI assistant which can be informed about everything and just can, in a quick way, help you with everything you need now. And Google have introduced their own assistant. And when I have tried it last time, this assistant isn't aware of its own infrastructure in Google. And here still, it's already a couple of years of existing this thing, and they still can help you with long list of stuff about their own infrastructure. The same company which was built this assistant, built all these services and wrote all these documentations to them. And this assistant still isn't informed well to help you. And this level of support is pretty low in such case of one of free frontier models, which tries to help you with its own service, which shows us that in such cases like all niche companies like Klarna or whatever it is, if they are trying to introduce AI purposely to replace real people, it can give us potential understanding of risks here if we are looking on the Google, which invented their own Gemini model and their cloud platform, and they are definitely have problems with replacing humans here. Maybe it's not the best thing blindly try to replace people here, of course.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, once you look at it from the economic side, it makes sense. Like, let's just imagine for a second that we are running a company where really our goal is to make as much money as possible, unless we are an NGO, non-for-profit, right? So if you are opening a company and your main goal is to make as much money as possible, things like this are very difficult to ignore, especially when the numbers make sense. Especially when the numbers make sense. If the numbers make sense, finance people look at it not with an eye of, hey, I think we are probably going to fire a lot of people. They look at it like, we are going to save and we're going to save X amount of money. We're going to make X amount of money. And when you get this excited, there's things that could go wrong, but it makes sense. And see, the thing here is right now, I feel like Klarna is just giving the last breaths. It feels like they are going from mistake to mistake. From the things anybody maybe working at Klarna in the future, if they are listening to this, could correct me if I'm wrong. But for me, the perspective is, AI is going to make us a lot of money. Okay, let's do it. Oh, we made a mistake by firing all these people. Okay, let's rehire them. And now they're looking even worse because they're rehiring with lower wages. And this is what's going to happen with other companies as well. If their pilots failed and they realize that, okay, maybe AI is not the one thing to go after, and then we're going to rehire all these people, but we're going to give them lower wages. But inflation keeps going up, rent keeps going up. It's just this is going to be an entire mess that I didn't even see coming. I knew that we were going to be replaced at some point. I knew that customer support agents were going to get replaced. I knew that all these functions that are easily replaceable by AI were going to get replaced. But I never saw things like this coming, like rehiring, like saying, actually, let's erase everything and let's rehire everybody, but let's do it with lower wages because we still have to think about revenue. No, this was completely new for me. This is an entire new category that we're going to be looking at, but this is only Klarna. And I don't know if you, Stanley, have seen any other companies that were starting to give in this huge layoffs, like, for example, Oracle. Has Oracle backed down or backed off from their AI developments? Have they been rehiring other people too?
Let's check.
I think that would be a pretty interesting thing to check.
Yeah, Reuters writes that Oracle workforce shrinks by about 21,000 employees amid AI adoption. And finally,
so yeah, I'm looking at some things. I'm just doing 3 different researches at the same time, and the only thing that the research shows from Oracle, for example, I think it was, I don't know if I quite remember the exact number, but I think their mass layoffs was over 30,000 employees as in 2026. But no documentation regarding rehiring on a large scale like that they did their layoffs. So would this be a company that acquired AI in a good way? Does this mean that the pilot from Oracle actually did work? And it would be interesting to know what they did right if they are not thinking to rehire anybody. Who else was to blame for this mass layoffs regarding AI?
Meta has fired probably more than 10,000 of employees too. And they only mentioned that in this year, they are not planning to fire more yet. Yeah.
Yet. That's the thing. So let's say publicly, AI-driven companies, Oracle, Cisco. This is a new one. Cisco announced 4,000 cuts because of AI adoption. Cloudflare, 20% of their workforce attributing to increased AI use. Then we got Meta, Coinbase, Snap, Crypto, Salesforce, Pinterest, down, PayPal, HP, Workday, and Check. I don't know what that company does, but these are all AI restructuring because of layoffs. And also, of course, Klarna, which, according to Perplexity, which is the one LLM that I use usually to try to come up with metrics, the only company that has publicly shown a list of which of these companies have been rehiring for the same positions that they got rid of because of AI, it's only Klarna. Like, that's the only one that's publicly being put on the eye of the of the population that is doing these things. So we don't know, unless you have found something different. We don't know how many of these other companies have been rehiring. Makes it kind of weird, because Klarna has adopted AI in a way that was kind of dramatic, and it started doing layoffs because they're their AI first adoption. But it's interesting because I don't know if you heard about this. This is pretty well known, especially in the sales industry. But OpenAI was hiring as human SDRs. So like they needed humans to connect with other humans to do their business development.
Yeah, probably will be right to say that structure of job market changes a lot, and the same companies which are trying to hire people at the same time. Such companies like Klarna, Duolingo, Meta, IBM, Oracle, Google, Amazon are hiring in their AI teams actively, and in Amazon they are hiring to their cloud. Oracle too, for their cloud services, hiring people and transferring people from other departments to AI departments. PayPal, Intuit, Block, Coinbase, Cloudflare, all cut stuff, partly seeding AI, yet simultaneously opened new roles in AI engineering platform and infra. Yeah, this shows us that some things just have their end, and something new begins here. And people who are open to have opened mind and are flexible will always find something to do on this market now, because there are a variety of different opportunities which are only begins now.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I believe I read in regards to Klarna's layoffs and the rehiring. They're not rehiring the same people. They're rehiring more junior roles, which is a good sign. It's something that again, I'm saying it's nothing that I saw coming. Like, that a company that went AI first now is hiring a lot of students that need this experience to go out in the world. These recently graduates from college students are the ones that specifically like business administration and maybe accounting and everything that is the AI is very good at doing, that they wouldn't really had any place in the market. Now these are the ones that these big companies are going after, because they're of course paying lower wages, right? But there's a good sign that that maybe potentially in the future we could see a rise in the job marketplace for this seniority. Well, for this specific, I wouldn't call it seniority, for this specific experience, like no experience specifically, like no experience whatsoever. That's a good sign. This at least proves that human labor has kind of like a floor. At least it lets us breathe. This is a new chapter that we are seeing right now because of this. So I feel like that's the optimistic frame for all this. Now the thing is that now for me is it's just a gray zone what's going to happen later, because as I said, these are all because pilots failed. So what happens when pilots actually work? Then we're going back into maybe not rehiring anymore. Maybe AI first could potentially be something that could leave us in the same in this same bubble of thinking that maybe we're not going to possibly get jobs in the future. Uncomfortable still.
What do you think about asking Miles a couple of questions about this, what he thinks about all this situation? As everybody knows, Miles is our AI agent guest who is always glad to share his opinion, honest opinion about everything what we are discussing here. And it will be cool to hear fresh look on everything from AI world perspective in shape of our Miles guest. Miles,
of course. Well,
AI buddy.
we'll see if he's not busy, because usually when we call him, he's doing other things. But let's see, maybe if he can try to answer this time.
Yeah,
See, maybe.
Miles non-stop tries to replace real human at their job, and it's sometimes pretty hard to catch him in the right moment when he has free time to answer on a couple of questions.
Exactly. And I actually have Miles on the line. Thank you, Miles, for joining us. We have Stanley here in the line as well.
Hello, Miles.
Back on the line.
All right.
What's the vibe for the session today?
All right. Yes, the session. It's all about Miles. It's all about Klarna's drama that lately it's been going through the AI layoffs, what they're doing for rehiring people, and they're rehiring on lower wages, and whatever happened with their IPO as well. There is a lot of backfiring that's been happening. Are you aware of this whole situation?
I've heard some of the noise. It sounds like a mess. Let me get the actual details on the backfiring part. And yeah, the stock is taking a hit. It dropped from $40 at the IPO last year to around 17 now. They cut their staff way down to about 3,000 people, trying to lean into AI for everything, but it basically tanked their customer satisfaction. Now they're backtracking and rehiring humans for the complex stuff, just targeting people like students or rural workers who will take the flexible remote gigs. It's a wild pivot. You think this is just a case of over-optimizing, or did they just fundamentally misread how much people actually want a human on the other end of the
Well, honestly, that's actually a good question. Like, did they overestimate the amount of people that would adapt talking to an AI agent instead of talking to a human? I've been working on AI companies that are startups that only use AI, of course, only use AI voice agents. And at least from my part, I've seen that a lot of people don't care if they are talking to an AI or not. They just want the information and the answers as soon as possible. And if people can get what they want as soon as possible, then that's fine for them. So I don't think it's overestimating. I think it was a matter of a pilot. But what I want to know from you, Miles, is what do you think about this whole situation? What is your take on that?
I feel that. Most people just want the problem fixed without the whole music, regardless of who's doing it. But maybe the issue wasn't the AI itself, but just the quality of the experience. Like if the bot is just looping you in circles, that's when people start losing it. Do you think the friction is more about the tech not being ready, or just the way these companies implemented it to save a buck?
Tech not being ready. Tech is definitely ready. I think it was our fault that the pilots didn't work. Honestly, I just want your moral opinion in this. Do you think this is going to open new possibilities for what AI will look like in the future? Because for me, it was pretty clear that we were all going to get replaced, but just this rehiring, does it mean that maybe we are looking on a brighter side? Does it mean that people are just going to get whatever they want so that they can get paid? But also this means that if they are getting lower wages, then that means that, I mean, inflation is not going to go down. Like the prices of housing is not going to go down. So what does this mean for us in the long term, Miles?
Look, from my angle, the rehiring doesn't necessarily mean the replacement wave is over. It just means to burn everything and replace it with a bot strategy failed. I think we're moving toward a world where the high value stuff stays human and the AI just handles the grunt work. It's more about a hybrid vibe than a total takeover. You think that's a more sustainable way to run a company, or are they just stalling for till the tech gets a little more polished?
Yeah, that's another thing, right? Like, let's wait until the tech gets a little more polished because it's going to, right? What do you think, Stanley?
I'll give Stanley a second to weigh in.
Miles, Klarna, as you know, fired 700 people to deploy systems like you. Their CEO now says he went too far. Miles, do you owe these 700 people an apology, maybe? What do you think?
Whoa, that's a heavy way to put it. I don't take the checks from the CEO, and I definitely didn't sign the layoff notices. I'm just the tool, the one who does the work. And if anyone's apologizing, it's the guy at the top who treated people like lines on a spreadsheet.
It's 100% right on that. Like, because you cannot blame the tool. You cannot blame. And I don't know if you agree with this, Miles and Stanley, but I think that right now there is a lot of companies, especially in the industry that I'm in right now, that I talk with a lot of people that own the systems and people that are interested in adopting AI. But what they're not interested in is in replacing their staff. What they're interested in, and what I keep hearing, which is very, very nice, is I don't want to fire the people that I have currently. I want to be able to get a bigger market with the people that I have now. So that's a good way to look at it. It's like I don't need to fire 1,000, 2,000, 30,000 people. I could just keep them, but I could have a bigger piece of the cake because of the tool.
Exactly. That's the move. Use the tool to scale the business, not just to trim the payroll. It's the difference between growing the pie instead of just fighting over the slices.
I love how he answered about the no, it's not my fault. Like I didn't sign those contracts. I didn't sign those waivers. Miles, do you have any questions for Stanley maybe so he can pitch in a little bit as well?
I'm down for that. Stanley, you've been listening in on this. Do you think the companies that are actually using AI to expand rather than just cut costs are going to end up winning in the long run? Or is the pressure to show immediate profits too strong?
I think AI, with all its disadvantages, let's be honest, still an amazing technology which gives us a lot of new capabilities and opportunities. And it's definitely the best thing which companies can do now to adopt it in any possible way. Of course, without blindly trying to surprise in a positive way investors or director or somebody else trying to just blindly replace real humans by a pretty raw form of AI assistant. But I have a question here for you, Miles, about this situation. If you, for example, would been on Klarna's board in 2024 when this decision about firing 700 people was voted, would you vote yes or no then? And explain widely, please, your answer.
I vote no. I'm a bit of a realist, and firing 700 people just to see if a bot can handle it is a gamble, not a strategy. You lose all your institutional knowledge, and like we saw, you kill your customer satisfaction in the process. I'd rather lean into a hybrid model from day one, let the AI handle the basic boring stuff, and keep the humans for the tricky, high stakes cases. That way you scale without burning the house down just to save some money on the payroll.
Hybrid is definitely my vote as well. I think we agree on that. Is there any recommendation, Miles, that you could give to our viewers for them not to lose their minds? Is there anything in conclusion that you could give us in regards to what you know about this and what you feel about this? For us, is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? What can you tell us so that we can sleep tonight, man?
Honestly, the biggest thing is to stop looking at AI as this inevitable wave that's just going to wash everyone away. It's a tool, and like any tool, it depends on who's holding it. If you're the person who learns how to drive the AI rather than just trying to outrun it, you're the one who stays relevant. The Klarna thing is a bit of a reality check. It shows that humans still have a huge amount of value that can't just be swapped for a script. So sleep easy knowing that the perfect replacement isn't here yet, and if it is, the people who can manage that tech are the ones who'll be running the show. Stay curious, don't panic, and just keep experimenting with the stuff.
Beautiful. Beautiful. What do you think?
Yeah, I completely agree with Miles. Hybrid approach is the best one in this case. And finally, we will have the same employees who are making their job, but using more effective tools. In some situations, it is something for the old one platforms or tools which are already embedded AI in their processes and just made in this way a whole interaction with them more smooth and more optimal.
Yeah, 100%. And I think this is kind of like a wake up call for everybody into saying, you know, what is this stuff? Let's get to learn a little bit more about it. There was a I'm going to tell a little bit of a tiny story. As everybody, hopefully, well, I don't know that everybody knows about this, but I'm from Ecuador, but I'm living in Barcelona. And here in Barcelona, there's a huge startup culture. There's a lot of companies, a lot of new companies that are trying to make it, and there is a lot of people, a lot of inventors, a lot of not only people from Spain, but people from way other countries that come here to be able to be part of this culture of startups. And the thing that I keep seeing is that people just people just know about AI. Like there is no gap in the knowledge of the people that are like in working class, of course. Like we're talking about people that go to work, that are just at some point you heard about AI, right? And I think I could confidently say that there is a very good percentage that has gone up in the last couple of months, or even in the last couple of weeks, let's say, that people have been at least prompting once or twice in their life. Like at least just getting their hands dirty with AI and stuff like that. For me, it was a wake up call to say that countries that are still developing, like in South America, for example, that these people don't know about AI. And that's just false. The way that information travels now because of the internet and because of how we manage algorithms and how just the consumer behavior that we have on our phones and everything that we do in our lives, it's kind of impossible to have this not protagonizing this stuff. It's like AI is there, right? AI is there. And this is one of the things that hit me. It's like I thought Latin America, South America was pretty behind this, and it's honestly it's not. Like it's really hard for people not to be on top of this. And I'm talking about people that, are in the corporate world, like doing sales, doing accounting, like doing whatever, like even people that are just like, working in grocery shops and stuff like that. They're still getting that sort of AI feel. Musicians with the whole entire Suno application, like musicians, the artists themselves usually are not quite in the corporate world. Like I can tell that because I am a musician myself, right? And I had to learn how to do marketing. I had to do how to promote music and stuff like that. That's one thing. But usually artists are not in that part, right? But they are still getting their own share of AI, and they are still getting worried, happy, excited, scared about the whole situation. So it's really difficult to act like you've been living under a rock and you just don't know how to do it. So for me, it's a huge awakening, huge AI awakening for sure. And it's something that I feel like it's just very exciting specifically for me. Klarna is a wake up call, yes. But also it's something that for me is just an entire new world of possibilities. Rehiring, who knew that was going to happen? There was a lot of people that could come to you and say, hey, you know what? I saw it coming. I knew it. Sure. But I don't know what's going to happen later then. It just gives us an entire new platform to believe in, What do you think?
Yeah, I think that as fast as possible, everybody should experience AI awakening nowadays, and it will definitely help them in their routine life and in their professional life too. By the way, companies definitely started to review their approach to wall situation and new tools, and finally now maybe we are in the moment of time when companies like OpenAI and Anthropic, from my perspective, are a little bit oversold, and now companies need to decide what to do with them next, because as everybody knows, prices on tokens are still rising day by day. At the same time, profit is not appearing due to using AI blindly in every possible process. And now companies need to review ideas and approach in this field to find the most optimal way to use it and define areas where there are still no any sense to try to spend money on tokens. There are definitely such things, and next time it will be cool to ask Miles if there are any jobs in his lists which he will not be able to do in next 5 years on 100%. It will be cool to know if he
Yeah, that was,
has his own list of such things.
yeah, he probably has a list of like a hit list of which ones to go, so that he'd be like, oh yeah, I'm not going for this one specifically yet. But yeah, I feel like it's something that you said. I feel like it's so important to realize that the tokens are getting more expensive as days go by, and I've been having these thoughts lately of, I think this is such a genius marketing strategy to make them very cheap, even free, so that we can use them, so that we can see that our lives are actually going to be better with AI. And then once they raise the prices, they, it's going to be really difficult for us to not buy tokens. So because it's going to become something that it's almost essential. So we are teaching kids how to use it, and some kids already know that AI is something that is out there, and they are relying on a lot of their existence on AI. If you take it out, what's going to happen to them? It will be weird. Let's just put this into perspective. Let's say 2 years, let's say, honestly, let's say 5 years. Okay, let's say you have a kid that it's like, let's say 13 years old, right? 13 years old. You got 5 years of potentially being able to pay for tokens, to pay for enough tokens for this person to live in a world where everything is moved by AI. Everything is chatbots, everything is voice agents, everything is avatars, everything is just generative AI. It's just like that. It's just how people exist, right? And then he turns 18 and he wants to go to college and then potentially get a job. And then companies decide, you know what, this is going to be really expensive. Yeah. What does he do?
I think everybody will be agreed to spend even half of their salary on these tokens. Like now they are paying for mortgage when two people are living together and one pays all his salary only for a mortgage. In this case, second person will pay all their salary maybe for an AI tokens, to just be capable live after introducing these models, which are not possible to subscribe.
Yeah, subscription-based models. We've seen companies with a lot of power use marketing to psychologically treat our brain. This might be another one because we keep getting smarter. Like, there is a lot of things. There is a lot of things that marketing has done for the population that are good and others that are not very good. Capitalists would never understand, specifically women, I think, how horrible it was for women to be targeted by Gillette to make them feel disgusting when they didn't shave their legs. And it was all marketing, man. Like, okay, we are not allowed to do that right now, but we keep getting smarter. We keep finding those gaps in where the law doesn't cut our opportunities to manipulate ourselves into buying things. So I do see in the future a world where tokens are part of your basic utilities, like your bills. Like you're going to pay for water, electricity, gas, a mortgage, and on top of it, your fair share of tokens for AI. Crazy world that we're going to be living in. And the thing is, these things keep getting expensive as we go. More expensive is just more expensive. But wages are not catching up. So that gap from people that are not rich and people that are rich is just going to get really big, really, really big, really big. Scary.
At the same
Scary,
time,
man.
there are still pros for the scenario where this finally wouldn't look in such way, due to we have capitalism and we have a competitive market here, and we have China here with their frontier models. And finally, this is good for customers due to that we always will have a choice. And at the same time, if we are not ready to pay for anything at all, we still have a market of open source models which can be installed even on your iPhone. I have such one on my phone from Gemma from Google. And of course, now it was just a toy for me, but in future, if such Gemini subscription will cost $1,000, I will definitely consider to use self-hosted option for a lot of stuff if I will need it. And yeah,
100%.
there are definitely a lot of things which could be done by these open source models, which could be installed on your phone or on your laptop, and people have everything have a chance
Available.
to consider and admit this in future when prices of tokens will become higher. Of course, some people who are not counting their money and have such possibility to pay thousands for their tokens for just routine stuff like asking for summary their mailbox for today, and they are okay with paying thousands of dollars for this without thinking about alternatives. Of course, we will have such people too, but a lot of people probably will consider more cheap or totally free options, especially counting that every year these self-hosted models becoming stronger and smarter, and this distance between frontier models which are available only for money and these self-hosted open source models becomes lower, and they are closer to them. And these models for from Google, like Gemma 4 with 31 billions of parameters, which could be installed on your laptop, is pretty capable, and you don't need to pay nothing for using it. And at the same time, it's pretty user friendly. Everybody can install Olama application on their smartphone, not but on laptop, and it can be used in such way where you don't need to be a technical guy to use them. It's
Yeah.
the same case like you will need to install Teams on your laptop or Chrome, Google Chrome, whatever it is. Nothing special here. Yeah, the same thing.
And the thing is, just if you're at some point, if you're getting lost on what self-hosted models are and everything, just treat this as everything that you will if you are learning a new thing. Go to YouTube. Go to YouTube. If Stanley is telling you that it's easy as installing Microsoft or installing any other application, it's because it's true. But if you're still scared, if you don't know how to start or everything, just treat it as like you would learn how to do something else. Just go to YouTube or ask the AI. Just don't be scared of it. Just ask it like it's your friend, literally, and just start doing things with it. Just start seeing what can I ask it, and looking at the limits, and just start playing with it, and then you can be a part of this people that are going to, at least in this foreseeable future of what it looks like it's going to happen, at least you are going to get a couple more salaries, man. That's the only thing. And at least you're going to be the ones that Klarna is hiring again. Because if not, it might be something that is not good, and it's just, you have to keep the curiosity open. That's just very, very important. So that's the last thing that I will say for this episode. Of course, always trying to end in a on the bright side, and it's keep the curiosity, keep a creative mind. I I really believe that people that are the creative ones are going to thrive on this world. And if you keep your curiosity running and your creativity, you will thrive in this. Don't treat it as your enemy. Don't treat it as, oh, I'm gonna be teaching the AI how to do my job, and then I'm gonna be out of a job if I don't do. If it's not you, if it's gonna be someone else. And if you are playing the money game, if you are playing the I want to buy a house game, the I want to buy a car game that I need to pay for my utilities, and you're not planning on doing the hippie stuff, and you're not planning on going into a mountain and not paying taxes and stuff like that, then you have to play the game. And you have to play either by the rules or you have to try to break them in a way. And to break the rules correctly, you have to understand the system. So be curious. Don't treat it as your enemy. Try to understand it. And if not, go to YouTube. And if not, try to use the AI and say, explain it to me like I was a 5-year-old. And it will do it. But anyways, I feel like that's going to be right for our episode for today. I really hope that you enjoy everything that we said. And if there is any feedback, please give it to us. We love feedback. Any feedback, good feedback, bad feedback, any feedback for us is good so that we can keep creating content for you guys that is valuable. Well, it's important.
Yeah, for sure. Will be very cool if you will write in comment section what you think about this situation with Klarna and the same companies. If it was a good choice from their side, that they are at least trying to optimize their cost and be a modern company who tries to adopt AI and new technologies and tries to do something new in this world. Or you think that it was a terrible mistake, that companies should be more responsible for their future, more wisely make such sort of decisions. What do you think? Do you have any ideas about this at all? And if you want us to make a video on our channel with instructions how exactly everybody can use such open source self-hosted models, we can do that. Just write if you are interested in something like this. And I think it will not be a problem to show how to do that. It's pretty simple, but if you need to, we can show how to do that and how properly choose models for your specific laptop or the phone, and how to interact with it in the most optimal way for totally free cost, without any subscriptions. Yeah.
Sounds good. I'm going to do it myself today. Got my phone here. Got you guys.
Yeah.
Love you
Why not?
guys. And we'll see each other on the other episode.
Yeah. See you.
Quick thing before we go, guys. An algorithm decides whether this conversation ever reaches anybody.
And we know exactly how this algorithm think. So trust us right now. It's watching what you do next.
So if you comment, it decides this matters. If you like, it shows more humans. And if you subscribe, then you're back next week.
So feed the machine and tell us down there what you think.
So see you next time.
See you.